So, hello everybody, and welcome to another session of our Transportation Insight. My name is Thomas Sorbo, co-founder of Zeneta, and I'm very excited to be here today together with Philippe Gilbert, president for the Supply Chain Solution Division in UPS. Philippe, can you please do a short introduction of yourself?
Hello, Thomas. How are you? I am Philippe Gilbert. I've been based in Atlanta for the past 15 months and in the industry of supply chain since 31 years. As you can notice by my little accent, I'm a French national residing in the US for quite some time. Welcome everybody on the call.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So the topic for today is global supply chains, and we're going to talk about post COVID-19. And with the background you have with more than 30 years of experience in the industry, what are some of the anticipated new supply chain trends, changes of practice that you see coming out of this crisis, Philippe?
Thank you, Thomas. Yes, definitely a lot of changes coming up with the pandemic. I would voice the first one for me is definitely safety of our employees, the vendors and the customers that we are delivering packages to. So this is a main priority, and I would say would remain. Then there is the liquidity and cash management, who are becoming top priorities for the companies that look for opportunities to, within order to cash, procure to pay, inventory management processes. So we see these as being major levers. Then in the supply chain strategies, we need also to prioritize both supply chain efficiency and continuity. So that's very much what we are looking at. Business that we have been talking to quite a lot of customers, and they are looking at, I would say, holding more of the inventory rather than operating just in time, to shift to much more like a just in case strategy. And that's something that we are seeing on the logistics side of our businesses. We see also an increased need for transparency and visibility ahead of disruptions with, I would say, the nodes further upstream in the supply chain. So we see that customers have seen during this crisis difficulties with finding raw material or providing the raw material for their factories. And that is something that they are trying to find, get more visibility towards that. They also, the nearshoring, the relocalization of production versus what we were seeing in the past is something that we have seen, I would say, even before COVID, but accelerated via, I would say, the platforms that we see, for example, China to Southeast Asia, Turkey also becoming bigger in the things that customers are talking to us, and of course, Mexico. But global supply chain risks are becoming apparent now, and over-reliance on low-cost countries sourcing and single source sourcing model, I think are becoming a little bit antiquated. So we see changes there that are coming quite fast. We are also looking, and customers are asking us a lot about automation and talent management to stabilize productivity and operating more digitally. So these are, I would say, the elements that we are seeing quite strongly. The productivity has been damaged quite a lot via the, I would say, state-enforced social restriction. So we see also this shift with the remote worker or workers who have been working from home, allowing more organization to be more agile and productive via, I would say, remote work that we have seen before. So that's the answer to your question. I hope that was not too long, Thomas.
No, it's excellent. Would you also say that there's also sort of a preparation towards if there would be a second phase coming as well?
I would say yes. So preparation, when you say that, the states are also trying to anticipate a second wave, and we see a lot of PPE coming and movement of that, but I'm sure you are not trying to address that. I think you're addressing more the fact of the remote workers have been working for quite some time in certain areas, 3 months, 2 months from home. And when they can work remote, I would say there is a good possibility that we will see that continuing in the future. And that's something that I would say we in UPS are looking at how we can make sure that productivity to continue increasing, but at the same time that safety of our employees are there. So yes, definitely something that we see coming.
Excellent. And then even though we see that demand is returning, it will probably be in a different type of demand. How do you anticipate consumer demands post-crisis, and how will supply chains need to adjust to this, if at all?
Yes. So we see that demand is returning, and we see it across all the world, and Asia has been the first one to see it very much coming strongly. So demand will return, but slowly, and not everywhere at the same time that we have had before. And I would say it depends a lot on the lockdown lifts. So the difference in region, countries in the world, but also state in the US, the level of opening plans will reflect on the demand. The GDP anticipated in those countries, and you can see today, I would say reflects quite a lot what the anticipation are on the demand. We see definitely, and especially in UPS small parcel, a shift from B2B to B2C, or what I call B2E, which is everybody, that will continue very much. Pre-COVID, we did develop a lot of access points, pickup points, and reverse activities. This will continue and very strongly continue. I think that the people who were not buying so much on internet are going to continue buying on internet, forced by COVID. And after COVID, I think that this will continue and will increase. So the increase of focus on residential delivery is going to for us continue. When we have seen a stage where we are like in peak season, the only thing is that the peak is not 3 or 4 or 5 days, it has been weeks. So it's quite an interesting increase of volumes. And this also will see the residential delivery considerations such as DC bypass models that we are envisioning. But right now, we see also that consumption are mostly on basic products and limited value added, and the storage to wait and see for retailers, for automotive are existing, and that's something that we see also on the logistics side.
Excellent, excellent. When it comes to technology, how has your focus on this been within UPS, and how do you navigate in this crisis, and how do you see that the industry can leverage all the available data out of when it comes to staying ahead if another crisis hits us?
And you are right to ask this question. I think that even without a crisis in us, I think there is a lot of customers who are talking, and they were pre-COVID talking a lot about it. I think that the COVID pandemic has accelerated a lot of this usage and visibility of data, either to anticipate or avoid blockage by leveraging AI or machine learning to extract critical insights. And I would say the insights to be able to be actionable. So that's where I see more of the usage and visibility of data to inform the supply chain and to be able to make sure that you make the appropriate decision. So predictive analytics have been built more inside UPS, and I know that a lot of customers are looking at that with the data aggregation to be able to develop, I would say, capabilities to avoid or uncover risk, and therefore being able to with algorithm model to be able to give predictive and prescriptive views on the supply chain. Another element that I think is quite interesting is the hybrid human robotic workforce model that we see a greater capacity to develop and an adoption also from our customers, both because of, I would say, the social distancing within warehouses. So the human robotic can be, of course, what we have done in a lower level, which is RPA development, to be able to use our workforce and not to be able to have our workforce doing repetitive work. But also we see more and more robotics automation within the warehouses to be able to be allied with the human forces. So those are also elements interesting to see on this angle. On also transactional processes driven by data analytics, I think that digital will come more and more. In UPS SCS, we have developed a digital platform to be able to access more of SMB customers and to be able to make sure small and medium-sized customers, to make sure that we are delivering also services to them. So for me, clearly, technology adoption is going to further drive productivity and, of course, supply chain. That's what we see, and we recommend our customers to continue pursuing.
Excellent. Yeah, we have also, before the crisis, there's been, a lot of talks in the industry about digitization, how you can optimize, how you can drive change. Is that something that you believe will slow down, or that you will see that companies pull back on those investments, or do you think they will continue and invest in a lot of these topics that you just mentioned?
I will give you a reflection on UPS. So we are looking at CapExes and how we are investing across the planet, and definitely I would say we are being very cautious on where we are putting our dollars. Clearly, digital is not a place where we are going to slow down, but we are going to accelerate in investing. And I would say within UPS SCS is something that we have talked about. How can we accelerate more digitalization? Our customer base, on the same token, are looking at us to be able to provide them more with a visibility, with total traceability. So I think they are also looking for partners like us, like you, to be able to deliver more of these capabilities. The B2C element is also going to generate more of this digital play, and we see that this is going to continue.
Excellent. I'm of the same opinion, and I think there's so many things going on at the moment, and also with the push over these months, where we have seen that it is actually possible to do business in a different way. So I'd say that there's a super exciting future, I'd say, ahead of us, in front of us. So I say I'm really looking forward to that. But I'd say also now, unfortunately, our time is up. Any final comments that you'd like to put out there before we say goodbye?
No, thank you so much for having me on this call and video. I appreciate a lot your time, and thank you for the listener for being there.
Thanks a lot, Philippe, and for spending time with us and then sharing your perspective. And goodbye to everybody, and thanks for listening in.